Good morning, everyone. This is Mark Rosenberger from Carolina Pay Pros, and I have Eddie Davis of FINSYNC out of Atlanta, Georgia, joining us today.
Good morning, everyone.
First, I wanted to just thank you for joining our very first FINSYNC Carolina Pay Pros product offering webinar. Hey, it's been a while since I've had an opportunity to speak with some of you, and we are thrilled to have you with us today. Okay. Moving on to today's agenda. I'll be talking about the merger between Carolina Pay Pros and FINSYNC and the reasons we did it and the opportunities in store for our customers. If we can get the agenda on the PowerPoint, we'll next note that after the FINSYNC demo, we're going to do a Q&A and get as many of your questions answered as possible. Lastly, what's the next step with utilizing the FINSYNC platform? How do you get enrolled? Okay, I will tell you the timing is excellent for Carolina Pay Pros clients. Many of you have noted that FINSYNC is offering a $100 Amazon gift card to anyone who enrolls, makes or receives their first payment on the platform. So Eddie will talk more on this shortly, I'm sure. All right, let's move on to the overview of the new partnership between FINSYNC and Carolina Pay Pros. Carolina Pay Pros is excited to have joined the FINSYNC family late last December. We did so because we felt for the most part we have a strong customer relationship through our payroll and workforce management ties. And that's very similar to FINSYNC's relationship with their customers. So in essence, you've got two groups that share the same vision. Optimizing the customer experience through quality offerings and unwavering, readily available support. Okay, go figure. Quite frankly, we both simply get a ton of gratification out of helping our customers. It just seemed to be a natural fit. And product-wise, this is a great opportunity to expand our offerings beyond payroll, which you will see very shortly. Now, as far as support, I know this is a big concern for some of you. I can assure you that your local Carolina Pay Pros team remains as is. Your representative continues to receive your emails, retrieve your phone calls, and process your payrolls. Okay. Our local Chapel Hill office will remain just that, local. Okay. Questions on pricing? Eddie will talk more on this in a moment. But what I find attractive about the FINSYNC pricing model? It's tiered depending on your needs. You can get started for as little as $10 a month and wrap up from there. Or you can stay exactly where you are and there is no impact. This merger only represents more opportunity for our customers, not more overhead. Other benefits for you, the customer. What's great about the situation is you are in control. If after seeing the FINSYNC platform and the various products, including the payroll interface, you can decide. You can stay where you are for payroll, but utilize other FINSYNC services, or migrate entirely over to the FINSYNC platform and enjoy the benefits of truly integrated accounting, invoicing, payments, and payroll. So in other words, there's no pressure to change. We're only offering additional tools to help you run and grow your business. Now that said, I'm going to turn this over to Eddie Davis from FinSync to show you a little more on how the platform works. Eddie.
Awesome, Mark. I sure appreciate that intro. And thank you all for attending. This is Eddie Davis here at FinSync in Atlanta, Georgia. Very excited to get to know some of you. And as Mark says, this demonstration is just for your benefit. And we have a number of tools that we developed here at the headquarters in Atlanta. And these are completely optional for you. The goal and the shared goal between us and Carolina Pay Pros is, as Mark said, it's about making your life easier. And we have a number of tools that are built for that in mind, built with you, the business owner, in mind. So I'm going to go through this briefly. We will have Q&A at the end of this. And then if you want to learn more, our team is available to book individual sessions with you where you can actually ask questions specific to your business, and we can show you within the platform how things might work if you were using various pieces or the entire FinSync platform. So I'm logged into a profile as the business owner, and notice that I'm on the cash flow management tab. What we're looking at here is, as the business, what's happening from a cash perspective in my business. And this is generated automatically because in this profile, I'm using FinSync for income, expenses, and payroll. And the system is automatically taking into consideration where I am today in terms of how much money I have in the bank account, because those are connected, and then those future transactions that I have. So our goal is to help you as the business owner understand where your business is going. If you have obstacles to avoid, or if you have opportunities that you want to capitalize on, we can show you how you can handle those from a capital perspective. So that's what cash flow management means to us, is that cash flow projection. It gives you that heads up view, that looking forward strategic capability that may be a bit of a challenge with current systems. I touched on payments, but we are a flexible payments provider that offers the convenience of Venmo or Cash App or some of the other tools you may have used on the consumer side, but with enhancements for US-based businesses. So with FinSync, I can request payments or request to pay all via email. I can be a completely digital firm, even if my customers or vendors prefer to work with paper checks. And so in that $10 package that Mark mentioned, I have the capability of monitoring all of my ACH or direct deposit capabilities, all of my merchant processing or charge card payments, receiving payments from customers by charge card, but also issuing payments to vendors by charge card. And then also we have a lockbox service, and we have a check issuing service. So this is a $10 a month product that allows you to interact with your entire customer and vendor base from one platform. It is secure in both directions. You don't have to share account information with your vendors and customers. They don't share it with you. It includes notifications. It includes document management, so you're not worrying about remittance advice and having extra conversations there. And both parties are aware of where the money is in the cycle, right? So as soon as payment happens, there's a notification. And then you also know, based on that notification, when the money will actually be available to you. So we're going to go through the other pieces of the platform fairly quickly. And then, like I said, we will, of course, be available to answer questions individually, and then also a short Q&A at the end of this. So the banking tab, this is all about streamlining your bookkeeping. So we sync to your bank accounts, credit union accounts, and then also your credit card accounts. So notice here that you can sync multiple accounts in multiple financial institutions. We pull in those transactions nightly for you. And as you start to categorize, as you start to bookkeep in our system, we start suggesting the categories based on how you categorize that transaction in the past. So think about this as a tool that learns how you're bookkeeping and then starts speeding that up for you in month 2 and thereafter. On the income side, we are a full invoicing system. You can generate one-off or recurring invoices. Those are, of course, payable electronically by your clients or also through the lockbox service. And we have some neat tools to make your life easier, such as the recurrent schedules and then also automated collections reminders. So if you have customers that may not pay without a little bit of prompting, then that's a great tool to use there. Notice here that the unapproved tab has the count of 2. FinSync is a multi-user environment, and we don't charge extra for those extra users. So if you have junior folks that need to be able to create invoices or create bills, but you'd like to be able to review them personally before they go out, we support that. And then also, if you want to use the recurring invoice scheduling tools, you can set them to be in an unapproved state so you can look them over, make any changes before you actually send those invoices out to your customers. Our bill pay system is super convenient. We do issue checks to any address in the United States, and we also are an ACH engine. So for any vendors that you want to pay, you can pay a single vendor, or you can pay 10, 20, even 30 bills using the bulk bill pay button. And then we also, as part of the environment, if you're using our integrated payroll, and we'll head there in 1 second, you can also manage expense reimbursements from employees through the system as well. Payroll, if you're using it on FinSync, and as Mark said, this is totally up to you if you want to move over or you want to stay where you are, but it is integrated with the rest of the platform. So what that means is, as you're processing payroll, all of the accounting happens automatically. And then we also support managing hourly contractors through the system as well. So that's a great option if you're looking for more of an integrated solution, but completely optional. Projects is all about job costing and understanding if you have to bid a job, whether that's building a website or renovating a kitchen, what your margins are, if you're on track or if you're not. And then reporting is traditional, full general ledger capabilities, right? So this is where we are an alternative to QuickBooks. But the big difference, again, is that if you're using our system, most of that accounting is happening as you are just running your business, right? If you invoice somebody, the accounts receivable and sales entries happen, and then your client pays you, accounts receivable is adjusted, cash is adjusted at the same time, right? So think about this as largely automated accounting as part of an overall cash flow management system. And then I'll also just mention, I think Mark touched on it a little bit, but we are, from a support perspective, everyone is based here in Atlanta, Georgia. That is a free service that we provide. We provide that by 800 number, chat, email, and then we also have a very large support library as well. And then for folks that are also maybe looking for ongoing support, such as a bookkeeper or accountant, we have a network of virtual service providers that have been vetted by our team, and they work in the cloud. And so you can, think about using somebody for example, if taxes are coming up and you might, feel like a little bit overwhelmed, you can hire somebody just for that. Or if you're looking for somebody that could be, a user in your business books that's going to help you with more like a strategy on an ongoing basis, we have those types of relationships as well. So this is our platform. You can use, the $10 a month payments piece, or think about upgrading to accounting and cash flow management. And then if you'd like to move over to more of an integrated solution, then payroll and projects are an option for you as well. So noticing that we are about to move into Q&A here, so feel free to use the Q&A module that is part of this webinar to send questions, but Mark and I are standing by for your questions here.
Eddie, what's nice about a Carolina PayPros payroll client who is interested in moving everything over to FinSync, the payroll conversion will be done for you at no cost. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mark. So that is handled behind the scenes. That is, Carolina PayPros client's choice, and we handle all of that onboarding process and then training on the new system as well at no cost.
And Eddie, that's where myself or one of my Carolina PayPros team members would reach out to the particular client and spend some one-on-one time going through that conversion process. So we are going to cover you there. No data entry and nothing like that would be required. And then of course we would give you follow-up one-on-one training on the FinSync platform. There's some pricing, general pricing listed that Eddie has placed on the screen for you to review.
That's correct. So we have a question from the audience. Can you talk more about pricing for payroll? If I switch to FINSYNC, what kind of payments can I do with FINSYNC? So moving over to the integrated piece, if you want projects and payroll, that would be a $95 a month base fee. Notice that we're at finsync.com/pricing. If you want to actually look at your particular business, the drop down arrow here, payroll processing fee calculator, plug in how many employees you have and the frequency that you pay them. And then you can get to what the transactional fees are for running those pay runs will be. So this is your base. There is no, some payroll providers have a base fee, each pay run. We don't do it that way. This is the monthly piece. And if you don't use projects, this would be $75 a month. And then your transactional fees would be down here. So you can actually plug in, however many employees you have, and this updates in real time.
I will add, if you just wanted to pursue the payroll portion, it is $40 per month. And then in addition, it's $4 per employee per paycheck. So it's not just unlimited paychecks for $40, but that does include our Tax Pro service, where we're preparing and filing all federal and state reports, providing you with electronic copies, full direct deposit for your staff. This would be an electronic payroll solution for you.
That's correct. And keep in mind, with any of the payroll packages developed by FINSYNC, the time tracking tools are included, and also the expense reimbursement tools are included at no extra charge. If you make reimbursements by ACH, that is a 50-cent charge, as is any general ACH. Another question was, what kind of payments can I do with FINSYNC? So FINSYNC, the payments that we support internally are ACH. That means direct deposit. So that's in both directions. That's a customer paying you on an invoice or a payment request, you paying a vendor or an employee on a reimbursement and direct depositing into their account. Merchant processing, so electronic invoicing is part of our system as well. If it is a card not present, like an e-commerce transaction or an e-invoice type transaction, the price is 2.9% plus 30 cents. And then we do remote check issuing, which is if you have an address for a vendor and you don't wish to print a check manually and you don't wish to stamp and stuff an envelope, inclusive of the stamp and envelope, we will process that check for you for $1. So it's electronic from your perspective. You're just clicking pay, but your vendor is going to get a check in the mail at their remittance address, at their place of business, most likely. And then our lockbox is the opposite. If you really would like to be running your business electronically, but customers are still sending you checks through the mail, they like that workflow, you can route those to our lockbox in Atlanta, Georgia. We will receive those checks, deposit them on your behalf, and match them up to your invoice, and that service is $1 as well. So those are transactional fees. I have another question. It says, does this merger affect where our employees log in to clock in and clock out? Only if you migrate. If you do not migrate, then it's exactly the same location and doesn't change anything. Do you want to comment on that, Mark?
You answered it properly, Eddie. Unless they migrate over to the payroll time tracking system that FINSYNC offers, none of the employee portals, whether it's ESS, MyGo, WebClock, or Employer on the Go, or Demand, nothing would change. That's the beauty of this merger. This is meant to be only offer opportunity, not disruption.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Another question from the audience, is FINSYNC designed to replace manual accounting through QuickBooks? Yes. FINSYNC is an alternative, and QuickBooks in large part has gone to an app store model, meaning you do core accounting in QuickBooks. You may use some of their add-on applications like Bill.com, perhaps time tracking tools like T-Sheets. You may have, alternative expense reimbursement applications. So, what we're seeing in the market is, obviously it's more efficient for firms to move things to the cloud because everybody gets access to real-time data, right? Thinking about owners, their teams, their accountants, their bookkeepers. That's certainly more efficient, but having people, working across as many as 7 financial applications versus one, moving to a consolidated all-in-one solution, not only saves out-of-pocket software expenses, but the time involved in being sure those systems are talking correctly and being sure that owners and team members are trained up correctly and using them correctly. The time savings is even larger than the software cost savings. But yes, it is a full general ledger system. The difference is as you're conducting business, meaning as you're invoicing people and they're getting paid, or as you're generating bills and paying those bills, your accounting is largely happening automatically as transactions are coming in through the connections to the bank, credit union, and credit cards. So you can certainly do one-off journal entries in the system, for depreciation and things like that, but a lot of your books are going to be happening just as you conduct business.
Furthermore, Eddie, on that soup to nuts FinSync solution, could you comment on some opportunities? Several of our clients accept credit cards, merchant services from their customers. Isn't that also an opportunity that we could bring under the FinSync roof into this entire process, credit card processing and merchant services?
Yeah, absolutely. That's offered through our system. And, if you're using a direct relationship with a merchant processor, then that means somebody is doing the accounting related to those sales separately. And it's the same thing in our system. If you are using integrated merchant processing, then the accounting around that is happening automatically. And also thinking about the efficiencies of sending an invoice where the client can click pay and pay just like you would check out of Amazon or something like that, versus taking a phone call and punching something in. You can certainly do that with our system, but we want to streamline things as much as we can for our users, but also their customers and vendors. The other thing that we're doing, Mark, which is not available through any other merchant processing vendors, is we are constantly innovating on payments. And so users of the FinSync platform, whether it's payments or one of the upgraded platforms, is that you can use a credit card as a source of funds. And as long as you have a vendor's email address, you can send them an email that says, hey, I would like to pay this bill of yours. And by the way, here's a copy of your bill attached to that email going out. Would you like to accept this on my credit card? And so that's a great tool if you're thinking about potentially maximizing points or miles on credit cards, using those rewards for travel and things like that. That's also an enhancement to cash flow management. So if you're thinking about you'd really like to pay a vendor today, but cash is a little bit tight, if you can move that payment onto a credit card, then that's freeing up your available cash as well. So a really cool feature there that's not available through any other vendor or any other merchant processing relationship.
So essentially, Eddie, you're never having to ask a customer or a vendor for a bank account information or credit card information, and vice versa. You're never having to give that information out. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mark. It's double blind, and that's intentional. So, here in the U.S., it's commonplace for vendors or customers to be using documents where either bank account numbers and routing information is getting written out by hand, or people are taking credit cards over the phone and that's getting written down. You control your own cybersecurity. Once your payment information is in the hands of customers and vendors, you don't have any control of it anymore. And so what we're doing is creating a secure portal where customers and vendors can interact with you, but you're not sharing account information with them and they're not sharing account information with you.
Folks, use me as your litmus test. I logged on and set up my account with FinSync, began invoicing vendors, etc., began sending and receiving payments. And it took me, in my learning curve, all of about 15 minutes, and I was rolling. So not a huge time investment. The platform is very intuitive. It literally walks you from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 as needed. The support, whether chat box or one-on-one in person, is top-notch, and you'll be utterly satisfied with not just the application, but really the key recipe is the support behind it. That's where FinSync will deliver. And by the way, did I mention the $100 Amazon gift card for all Carolina Pay Pros clients that at least sign up for the payments platform and transact one payment?
Yeah, that's a great offer. And, the reason we're doing that is folks that have adopted that platform love it. It is so much more efficient than the way that you're processing payments today. And so that's also just a great way to get 2020 started off right. So yeah, that's an Amazon gift card, no strings attached as soon as you process your first card payment. So would encourage all of you to take advantage of that offer.
Well, if that will do it, hey, I would like to really thank everyone for attending. I have personally wanted to say thank you to everyone for your loyalty to Carolina Pay Pros over the years. It has been a true pleasure to work with each and every one of you. But the great thing is this isn't the end by any means. In fact, there's only bigger and better things to come. So Eddie, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
I'll just mention that we have a form. It's at finsync.com/CPP. And you can schedule a one-off demonstration with us and, talk to us about your business, how things are done today, pain points that you have, where you feel like you might be able to be more efficient. And we can actually walk you through in the platform, how you might do things in a more efficient way. So we will distribute that link, of course, by email as well, but you can see it on the screen here. It's finsync.com/CPP. So that's how you schedule a one-off demo. Would encourage you to do that. And then you also, of course, are welcome to get into the platform as well. But we look forward to meeting you and giving you any information we didn't cover in this. And I share Mark's excitement, and on behalf of everybody else at FinSync, we're very excited to get to know you and look forward to working with you.
Hey, well, take care, everyone, and hey, enjoy your March Madness.